Welcome to running on Reddit, r/JUSTNOFIL. Where fathers, and fathers-in-law, are bitter and vile. So, after having significant other's dad call me fat, ugly, complain about my teeth, and act like a complete douche for a year, it finally settled. We live 2 apartments below from his parents. Significant other used to use it for partying, but we fixed it up so it's good. We will be living here 2 more weeks until my exams pass. So beforehand, significant other came to my town and went no contact for 2 weeks. Things calmed down and we moved, etc. Since then, his parents called us over for dinner twice and acted nice. Until I have tutoring at 1 and significant other drove me early and went to help his dad with some minor job, which his dad paid 5 more people to help with, to wait for his dad to come with the truck so they could move things. Except, his dad was nowhere to be seen for 2.5 hours. My tutoring ended and a reeling significant other came to pick me up, despite his dad saying for the 3rd time, "Almost there, stay. It's a quick job." It was raining and it was cold. Significant other had told him beforehand he has to pick me up at 3. Father-in-law suggested I wait. So, significant other picks me up and all hell breaks loose. He goes back to help with the job but it's finished. Picking me up and driving me home was 40 minutes, so yeah. Imagine how minor of a job. So he goes home. An hour later his dad is home and is banging at our windows screaming for his son to go out. Once significant other goes out it's just non-stop screaming for 30 minutes. How could you make an idiot out of me in front of 5 people? You left me all alone. I peek out of the window, neighbors and random pedestrians are staring. The fight is over, and significant other is napping and his dad calls. I pick up and tell him significant other's napping. His response, punch him so he wakes up. Another screaming follows about how I've dragged his son to be my slave and leave him all alone with these 4 dudes helpless. It's been 4 days. He still screams anytime he sees significant other. I avoid father-in-law like the plague. I can't deal with that much stress before my med exams. Also, significant other got invited to a graduation party. Refused to go without me. Another meltdown occurred. The father-in-law didn't have the decency to arrive on time, yet expects everyone to wait for him, and then throws a tantrum later? Man-child. So, after a long and difficult battle with cancer, my future mother-in-law passed away. She was a lovely woman, and both future husband and I will miss her dearly. A bit of backstory of what happened: she died Wednesday the 27th and we all went to see her at the hospice. My mom, stepdad and brother came to see her off as well, and they were very respectful. My dad had just gotten in from another state and also wanted to show up, but I know how he is. I refused to tell him where the hospice was and actually lied about the mortuary taking her, as he eventually found the place. The thing with mother-in-law though, is that they left her mouth and eyes open, so it was a very shocking thing to see. My little bro, who is 18, was super shocked because it was the first dead person he'd ever seen. This brings us to today. I went to my parents' house and my mom was asking about a memorial service. I told her that the memorial was going to be about a 2-hour drive for us to go to her fave restaurant. When my dad heard where it was, he let out a loud "uck," to which I responded, "What do you mean, uck?" My mom sensed the tension and diffused the situation by getting me to look up the address. I was later in my brother's room and again the topic of the memorial came up. He immediately told me, "I don't think Dad should go." And then proceeded to explain that he had told Dad about how shocking the whole thing was, and that her mouth was left open. Dad then proceeded to laugh and asked my brother to make the face mother-in-law had when she died. Bro said that he called Dad out about it being rude and insensitive, and then Dad laughed some more and said, "I'm not being insensitive." There's also this stupid face my dad makes that's basically him trying to hide a smirk whenever he says something inflammatory like this, and apparently, Dad had that face on the entire time. I'm really pissed off. He was a ducking coward to not say that to my face and to react rudely at the mention of a memorial. I was so pissed that I left without saying goodbye. I knew he was a crappy person, but this is the last ducking straw. I don't want to talk to him again. I don't want to see him again. How ducking dare he talk about such a wonderful woman like that? I'm pissed. What a troll, ugly on the outside, and ugly on the inside. I was recently diagnosed with bipolar 1, and just started lithium. I've had several diagnoses over the years and have been on a bunch of SSRIs, done talk therapy, etc. Bipolar explains the missing piece of the puzzle. Anyway, dearest husband was talking to his parents recently, and said I was recently diagnosed with bipolar 1, and it's been hard on everyone. I've been in a manic phase recently and, with an 8.5-month-old, that comes out as a lot of anger. His mom contacted me saying, she loves me, is there for me, etc. Last night, dearest husband gets a message from his dad that links to this douchebag on Facebook, and a post describing how women's problems today are a rebellion against men, not benevolently dominating them. Dearest husband responds calling the guy a douchebag and, of course, that's where the fun begins. Father-in-law goes on a rant talking about how the only way dearest husband can fix me is by dominating me. Apparently, bipolar is just a fancy way of saying I talk back. And the only way to fix that is for my husband to be an alpha, and tell me what's what. For some background, I have a PhD in biological science and am a tenure-track professor at a big R1 university. Dearest husband stays home with our baby and is a nurse. Father-in-law told us at our baby shower that this arrangement would never work because I would resent dearest husband and eventually cheat on him. He also sent lengthy messages with bullcrap articles telling dearest husband not to vaccinate our newborn son. Like dude, pay attention to your own ducking life. Father-in-law's barbaric approach on how to treat women is, well, truly barbaric. Yes, as pathetic as it sounds, we're all on holiday and just no father-in-law was sitting on the floor drawing on paper, when his bubbly 4-year-old grandson came over and playfully drew over his drawing. Just no father-in-law is an artist, and takes drawing seriously. Fine, I get that it must have sucked for him. But instead of seeing that the kid is 4 and dampening his response, he flew off his rocker, as a figure of speech. After yelling and swearing at his grandson, he did the same to his son, the father of the grandson. Yelling at him because he wasn't disciplining his son, he was, but just no father-in-law didn't have the mental capacity to see that. To give some context, there's my just yes mother-in-law and just no father-in-law, my wife and 2-year-old daughter, and my brother-in-law/sister-in-law and their son and daughter. The 9 of us are all sharing a holiday house, and it's literally been awesome. The kids absolutely love it, and all but one of the adults are smitten watching grandchildren, children, nieces and nephews having a blast. One of the kids was having such a blast, that he decided to play a trick on granddad, and ruin his drawing. It's only a drawing, right? Annoying, but kids do that kind of thing, right? His parents are normal responsible parents, and he's not a bratty kid. Just no father-in-law has a big chip on his shoulder about how kids are raised, and how his children and their partners, me included, are doing things wrong. We do this holiday every year, and when our daughter was a few months old, we had to leave early because fragile just no father-in-law couldn't handle our daughter crying, as we were getting her to sleep. We were clearly bad parents, and we needed to get her out of bed and put her down again later. It was a big blowout with lots of yelling and swearing. There's one common denominator in all this, and it's just no father-in-law. He claims that at 62 he's too old to change, and that getting angry is a part of him. He has a severe anxiety issue, sleep problems, but hates medication. For a brief period when he was on Prozac, it was the calmest time I've ever experienced. Honestly, I wish I could just punch him in the face, but I know that would just be a bad idea. I want what's best for my daughter and wife. But when he's talking at the top of his lungs, not letting anyone else talk, ranting, raving, swearing, cutting other people off, and then yelling, "Listen to me, don't interrupt me." When someone has the audacity to respond, I secretly dream of walking up to him and punching him as hard as I can. I'm trying my best to remain calm, but goddamn, what a prick. To think, father-in-law didn't have the foresight to realize, whatever he was doing would have been thwarted by tiny mischievous people. My husband's sister lives with their parents and her 1-year-old child. My husband and I made plans with her to take her kid to see Santa and look at Christmas lights. The night we were taking him, she worked, so the kid, I'll call him John, was with my in-laws. We get to the house and my father-in-law acts like he doesn't know what we are talking about. We explain that we cleared it with my sister-in-law and were taking him out. Now, we have not spent much one-on-one time with John, and he is a bit of a crier, which we knew and acknowledged. It was fine with us if he cries, some kids just do. But my father-in-law would not stop talking about how John doesn't know us, and we are kidnapping him by taking him. He kept using that word, kidnapping. He went on to condescendingly talk about how he knows a bit about child psychology, and we were going to traumatize John. He yelled at my husband and ultimately ran from the room, trying to call the mother of John to have her tell us no. Thankfully, she did not agree with him and told him to essentially mind his own business. Unfortunately, that didn't stop father-in-law. He blocked us from leaving for about 30 minutes, lecturing us. My husband, bless him, was trying his best to stay calm and tell his dad we were taking him. So we walk out the door to grab his car seat, and his dad yells, "I don't support this, I want nothing to do with this," and slammed the door. Mother-in-law came out to help with the car seat, but by that time my husband was defeated. He felt crappy, angry and hurt. We ended up handing John back to her saying, "Never mind. We didn't want to take him anymore." I actually ended up crying because I was so mad. Part of me still wanted to take him just to show my father-in-law, but hubby was broken. I don't even know what to do at this point. My husband wants to cancel Christmas with his parents, which I support just from past experiences with them. I just feel bad for him. It's making me sick, and don't know how to help, especially because this isn't the first time his family has acted like this. They drive me crazy, but I've been supportive in visiting them because my husband still loves them. Any advice on how to handle them? After that mess, the couple and the wee one probably had one wish for Santa this year. Make father-in-law disappear.